This is News Today with WDW News Today. I'm Tom Corliss of WDWNT.com. Please like this video, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell to make sure you never miss the latest from the Disney theme parks all around the world. Coming up in a moment, the news for March 10th, 2025. But real quick, we got the samples of our 3 new button-up shirts, so I'm going to show them off real quick. No, save that one for last. So I'm going to show these off. These are available for pre-order right now. CarouselOfProducts.com. We got Spaceship Sunset. It's Spaceship Earth at sunset. Isn't that great? I love it. These are the samples. They'll look just like this, though. And of course, there's a cool hidden tag. I'm not going to reveal what's behind the hidden tag. There's a cool hidden little reference on every shirt. There's that one. I'm going to throw these on the floor. Also, 50 years of space, celebrating 50 years of Space Mountain around the world. I love the way this turned out. I love this. I'm going to be wearing this a whole lot. 50 years of space. And last but not least, we are resorting to some cheap 3D tricks. I hooked my microphone. That's good. Cheap 3D tricks. Look at the front. There's the front. There we go. Isn't that great? I love it. It's kind of, we haven't tried to actually use actual 3D glasses on it yet. We don't know if it works. But either way, super cool. These are all for pre-order right now, CarouselProducts.com. If you get the bundle, you get $15 off. There's also a discount for WIGS members as well on top of that. So be sure to order your shirts right now. And also, we're still taking pre-orders on our Sunny Eclipse plush as well, the Intergalactic Lounge Singer. Get it all right now before it's gone. Limited quantities. Now let's do the news. Waldo, can you just hang out over there, please? Thank you. During the Future of World Building at Disney session at South by Southwest 2025, a first look at the ride vehicle concept was revealed for the off-road Cars attraction coming to the Magic Kingdom, as well as early sketches for the cars themselves. First announced at last year's D23, the Ultimate Disney Fan Event, a brand new Cars-themed area is speeding into the Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World with 2 new attractions. There, the Cars crew leaves Radiator Springs behind and heads off into the frontier formerly occupied by the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island. Pixar Chief Creative Officer Pete Docter and Imagineer Michael Hudgen made an appearance during the session, revealing that Walt Disney Imagineering is creating a brand new type of ride vehicle for the off-road experience. According to Hudgen, our primary goal is creating an emotional experience for our guests. For this Cars attraction, we need to invent a new type of ride vehicle. No one builds these in a factory because it has to do so much more than just carrying you from one place to another. We have to create a car that conveys a feeling when you ride in it. They shared that the project team took a trip out to the Arizona desert for research, utilizing real off-road vehicles to experience what it could feel like for guests when riding over the terrain proposed for the attraction. From there, the Imagineers worked with a motocross company to build a real dirt track to race around on and took that data back to begin work on creating how the ride vehicles would eventually move and race. While the track shown here is not the exact layout, Imagineers wanted to craft terrain that Lightning McQueen and Mater hadn't experienced before, like racing over rocky terrain, ascending to mountain peaks, and dodging around geysers. Hudgen also stated, we're using a customized production vehicle. It has sensors all over it, and we're taking it for test drives on our dirt track to gather data on how the vehicle responds to different terrain. This is where we turn that feeling we want into real-world engineering. Here is a maquette version of a very basic ride vehicle concept. In the video shown during the session, the vehicle moved along a single-rail model track, rolling over raised obstacles with a range of motion, maybe similar to something like Dinosaur or Indiana Jones, but we assume combining the speed of something like Radiator Springs Racers or Test Track, but again, Disney did not say any of those things. As for the cars that guests might encounter or ride in, Pixar and Imagineering are already at work creating these new characters. Here are some early sketches released during that session of those cars, 3 of them at least. Docter teased that they're creating new race car personalities for this attraction. Each vehicle in the ride will have its own name and number, just like a real race. The new episode of We Call It Imagineering, meanwhile, revealed the possible track layout for the new Cars ride. Some of the same information plus new clips are featured in the episode called Let's Ride. It goes behind the scenes of ride vehicle creation with the ride engineering team. There are brief glimpses of a simple white mock-up for a track of that new Cars ride. We don't know if this is the final track layout or how early in development they are, but nonetheless, it gives us an idea of the possible twists and turns guests may experience. Of course, in February of 2025, the demolition permit for the project was approved by the South Florida Water Management District, officially giving the green light for work to commence, but it is unknown when exactly the Rivers of America, Tom Sawyer Island, and the Liberty Bell Riverboat will stop operating at this time. It hasn't been announced yet, so we're waiting to find out just when they're going to start work on this Cars area of Frontierland. Again, the next several stories are all going to be a combination of what we learned at South by Southwest in that presentation, and also what was released in that Imagineering video today. The Monsters, Inc. door coaster coming to Disney's Hollywood Studios will be the first ever suspended coaster at any Disney park. It'll also be the first to feature a vertical lift. The segment was presented by Pixar Chief Creative Officer Pete Docter and Imagineer Michael Hudgen once again. On the new roller coaster, guests will embark on a thrilling chase through the Monsters, Inc. door vault. The model for the coaster was revealed along with the coaster itself at D23 last year. Other details regarding Disney's upcoming first ever suspended coaster were not shared during the panel, but Hudgen said it's going to be an experience that's as memorable and fun and as fun as the film was, and that Imagineers have been itching to turn that moment into an attraction ever since we saw it for the first time. I can tell you that everyone at Pixar is excited about how this is coming together. It really is like a dream come true for us, shared Pete Docter. Further details about the coaster were shared in the new episode of We Call It Imagineering, all about ride vehicles. The episode features an extended animation of the load area of the new Monsters, Inc. ride. The concept rendering, which we first saw at South by Southwest, shows how the ride seats will be lifted into the air in that vertical lift. Each pair of seats then individually rotates to face forward as they head into the ride vault. This means each pair of guests on the coaster could possibly face different directions or turn throughout the experience. It's unclear if that's going to happen at this time, but we can at least see that it's possible given this animation you're looking at right now. The upcoming Monsters, Inc. land will take over the current footprint of the Muppets Courtyard section of Grand Avenue at Disney's Hollywood Studios, including Muppet Vision 3D, Pizzerizzo, and Mama Melrose's. In addition to the suspended door coaster, the land will include shopping, dining, and a new theater show. That's the thing in particular that will replace Muppet Vision. But Grand Avenue will begin closing these areas in phases very, very soon, starting in May, in fact, and through June. We'll start to see those venues close. The new mission featuring The Mandalorian and Grogu coming to Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run and Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at both Disneyland and Hollywood Studios now has an opening date. Again, first announced at D23, the Ultimate Disney fan event last year, the new experience featuring Din Djarin and Grogu is coming to Smugglers Run on both coasts on May 22nd, 2026, alongside the release of the film in theaters, The Mandalorian and Grogu. As part of the announcement, The Mandalorian creator and Disney legend Jon Favreau appeared with Imagineers Leslie Evans and Asa Kalama to discuss the update. One of the cool things about Disney is how we can tell our stories in so many different formats. We're already taking Mando and Grogu from the TV screen to the movie screen, and at the same time, The Mandalorian executive producer Dave Filoni and I are working with Asa to bring the story to the Disney parks too, shared Jon Favreau. Favreau also stated that in addition to the opening date for the update, the new concept art was shared of various locales that guests will visit on the mission, including Tatooine, Cloud City, and the remnants of the second Death Star. This isn't going to retell what happens in the movie. It's more like participating in something that's happening just off camera from what you see in the film. As previously announced, Disney's partnership with Epic Games will help the story come to life through Epic's Unreal Engine, which Lucasfilm uses to create the virtual sets on The Mandalorian. A new Droidsmith audio-animatronic named Otto, the same species as Babu Frick, was revealed at the Disney Experiences session at South by Southwest, sitting atop a BDX droid. The tiny Droidsmith made his appearance in the first portion of the session, focusing on Lucasfilm's collaborations with Disney Experiences. He arrived riding atop one of those BDX droids. It's unclear if this animatronic will make its way to the parks or if this is just going to appear in the Mandalorian and Grogu film in 2026. But Otto and Babu Frick belong to the Anzellan species, a small, skilled, and highly intelligent group of tinkerers known for their expertise in droid smithing and mechanical repairs. It was also announced that the BDX droids will be making their way to more Disney parks later this year. The droids will make their debut at Tokyo Disneyland, Disneyland Paris, and Walt Disney World again later this year. They recently made their debut with Disney Cruise Line for at least one voyage on the Disney Wish. It's not a permanent thing, though. The BDX droids originally debuted in 2023 as a playtest in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland, with Imagineering previously saying that the sky is the limit for these characters. In 2024, the droids appeared daily as part of Season of the Force, a limited time event, but they were so popular that they kept on. They also earned the 2025 Thea Award for Outstanding Achievement in Technical Innovation. The roaming droids also will appear again in the Mandalorian and Grogu film on May 22nd, 2026. Robert Downey Jr. joined Kevin Feige and Bruce Vaughn on stage at South by Southwest to share new details about the Stark Flight Lab attraction coming to Disney California Adventure. Announced again at D23, the Ultimate Disney Fan event in 2024, two new attractions will soon join Avengers Campus at DCA. President of Marvel Studios Kevin Feige and President and Chief Creative Officer for Walt Disney Imagineering Bruce Vaughn dove into the greater detail on one of these attractions, Stark Flight Lab. Stark Flight Lab will bring you inside Tony Stark's workshop to test out some of the genius billionaire philanthropist's tech, and there was no better way to show off the new experience than by bringing out Tony Stark himself, Robert Downey Jr. Downey called working with Walt Disney Imagineering on these new experiences for Avengers Campus the living embodiment of the Stark Enterprise's mission statement. The curiosity, the passion, the inventiveness, and the occasional flair for the dramatic, most of all, a drive to put something good out into the world to make life better, at the minimum, more fun by a mile. It's the privilege of a lifetime to be invited to participate. Robert Downey Jr. was also excited just to be invited to Walt Disney Imagineering and made jokes about the stealth of WDI headquarters. You want to talk about a closed set? It's the Area 51 of fun. On Stark Flight Lab, guests will sit in gyrokinetic pods and move along a track before stopping in front of a giant robot arm, which will then hoist riders into the air and make several high-speed maneuvers inspired by Iron Man and other Avengers. Transferring from a track to a robotic arm and then back again, nothing like this has ever been done before in a theme park, and we're so excited about it. Usually we hide all the tech behind the scenes so you can focus on the story, but here the tech is the story, so we're putting it in front and center, said Bruce Vaughn of WDI. One piece of tech that has become important to Stark's lore is his robotic friend, Dummy. And when Downey first visited Imagineering, he commented how much the robot arm for Stark Flight Lab looked like Dummy, and that quickly made its way into the attraction. Using dancers and motion capture technology, the team made a virtual mirror to incorporate some of these movements into early ride mock-ups. The Imagineers want to make sure the robots in Stark Flight Lab feel as lifelike as possible, just like Dummy. Downey, who will reprise his role of Tony Stark for both of the new Avengers Campus attractions, joked about staying on longer for more. Even after we finish the Flight Lab, I want to stay with you all for the long haul, Downey told Feige and Vaughn amid screams from the crowd. This isn't a one-time deal. You need more me. Continuing on with that new episode of We Call It Imagineering, they seem to confirm that the new Avengers Infinity Defense ride will be in 3D. The Let's Ride episode, of course, all about ride vehicles, showed several clips of Imagineers testing Avengers Infinity Defense in a mock-up vehicle in front of large screens. One feature in the vehicle is a projected number counting up. As we previously noted, the ride seems to use the same system as Peter Pan's Neverland Adventure, which opened last year in Fantasy Springs at Tokyo Disney Sea. You can watch a video of that full ride right here on our channel. The Imagineers in the vehicle appear to jump through a multiverse portal on a screen in front of them, and as a rocky planet is revealed, the screens open, revealing a larger screen showcasing the same environment. In addition to that rocky location, the clip shows the vastness of space, including floating rocks and spaceship debris. And although these locations aren't instantly identifiable, we do know the ride will visit Asgard, Wakanda, and New York City. Another clip shows a statue of Loki seemingly about to be crushed by a falling structure. The video clip seems to purposefully be blurred to keep elements of the ride a surprise, but they also seem to be obscured due to being in 3D. The ride using 3D is all but confirmed by the Imagineers wearing 3D glasses as they look up at the scenes. This isn't an official announcement. It's always possible the ride won't be in 3D, but Peter Pan's Neverland Adventure also is in 3D, so might as well just assume. But Avengers Infinity Defense tells a brand new story that'll bring guests into a battle alongside their favorite superheroes. Guests will join Marvel heroes from across the multiverse to battle King Thanos, a version of the villain who won. It's part of that expansion of DCA's Avengers Campus, again, with Stark Flight Lab, coming soon. And by soon, I mean a few years from now. President of Marvel Studios Kevin Feige also announced that the Fantastic Four will be meeting guests at Disneyland Park this summer. No specific dates for the meet and greet were announced, but guests will be able to meet Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm in Tomorrowland when Fantastic Four First Steps opens in theaters this summer on July 25th, 2025. In addition to Marvel's first family, a Herbie robot is also in the works, though it's unclear if he will also meet this summer or if that will be at a later time. Herbie stands for Humanoid Experimental Robot B-Type Integrated Electronics. It's a robot companion for the Fantastic Four who will also appear in the new film. I don't know about you, but I love all these little animatronic characters at the parks, the BDX droids being at the top of that list. If Herbie appears in the parks, I'm going to lose it. And I really want Herbie. I can't believe I'm going to say this. There's a part of me that's going to die when I say this, but if Herbie doesn't get to appear at EPCOT, I'm going to lose it, because Herbie looks like every one of those weird 80s robots that we grew up with at EPCOT, like Smart One and all the others. And so I really want her. If we're going to have IP EPCOT, then give me something that gives me old EPCOT vibes. Let's go for it. I do think it's interesting that there is Avengers Campus, and usually that's where new characters debut. But because of the 1960s retro future vibes in Fantastic Four, they're choosing Tomorrowland for them at Disneyland, and maybe that's to keep them separate from the other characters because they haven't crossed through the multiverse yet to meet them. I don't know. But nonetheless, it's pretty interesting that that's going to be at Disneyland and not in Avengers Campus. For the final part of that We Call It Imagineering recap, we have a quick look at the ride vehicle of Rapunzel Tangled Spin, that's Rapunzel in French, a new Tangled attraction coming to Disneyland Paris. Though the episode title Let's Ride doesn't contain a segment about this new attraction, a trio of Imagineers are briefly seen spinning in one of the vehicles for Rapunzel Tangled Spin in a warehouse. The vehicle is unpainted but with metallic filigree on the front and an illuminated lantern. It's made in the shape of a boat similar to Rapunzel and Flynn's, although circular. The clip does show just how small the rounded vehicles are. They do look about the same size as a teacup, so that's all that ride is going to be, as we kind of imagined. The new spinner ride will be part of the Adventure Way expansion to Walt Disney Studios Park, which will be renamed Disney Adventure World. Rapunzel Tangled Spin is expected to open in 2026, along with the world of Frozen. This park needs a lot of love and care, and it's great. I think the Lion King attraction that's on the way later is perfect. An attraction that exists nowhere else in the world, completely unique e-ticket that'll make people want to go specifically on a trip to Disneyland Paris. But putting another teacup ride in that park, a park that is full of flat rides already, is not what should have happened. This park needs a lot more to do and a lot more that is great and unique, and this honestly just ain't it. This program is brought to you by our official travel agent sponsor, Be Our Guest Vacations. Your dream vacation begins with Be Our Guest and their concierge team of expert vacation planners. Head on over to beourguestvacations.com/WDWNT, and their team will design your next magical vacation, from the Walt Disney World and Disneyland Resorts to Disney Cruise Line to Adventures by Disney and more. And the best part is their concierge services are 100%, no one's going to scare me today, but they're free, so book today. Disney revealed the Coco float and the original poster for Disney Starlight Dream the Night Away, the brand new Magic Kingdom Nighttime Parade. The new Nighttime Parade poster features Mary Blair-inspired artwork of the Blue Fairy, Peter Pan and Wendy, Moana, Miguel and Dante, Cinderella and Prince Charming, and Elsa. The poster will join other attraction and entertainment posters below the Main Street USA train station when the parade debuts at the Magic Kingdom this summer. Meanwhile, the Coco Parade float features Miguel with his guitar and Dante in Alebrije form at the front of the Marigold Bridge to the Land of the Dead. Pepita stands on the bridge with her wings spread, and at the back of the float are sparkling buildings. The float will be accompanied by mariachi music and Sugar Skull fireworks. Now, they did say this whole parade has references to all of the Magic Kingdom's prior nighttime parades, and so we've seen a lot of Electrical Parade, right? The Blue Fairy leading the parade, straight out of Electrical Parade. The princesses dancing on sort of a ballroom float, very much from the Main Street Electrical Parade. But I will say, I get some Spectro Magic vibes from this one, because Spectro Magic had those light-up fireworks exploding over the finale float. So we get a little bit of that, an homage, if you will, with the Coco float, which for me, thus far, of all the floats we've seen, this is the coolest looking one thus far. It's the one I'm most excited about. But there's still more we haven't seen. Hopefully, they will all be just as good. But Disney Starlight Dream the Night Away will debut this summer. An exact date has still not been announced. Over the next few weeks, Disney will shift the time of Happily Ever After at the Magic Kingdom later in the evening. The Nighttime Spectacular is currently performed at 8 p.m., but due to daylight savings, which began on March 9th, the show will start at 8:30 p.m. As the daylight disappears, it'll shift to 9 p.m. performances starting Sunday, March 30th. Meanwhile, the Magic Kingdom is also adding an additional performance time for Disney Adventure Friends Cavalcade. The first time is still 5:10 p.m., but there's now a second one at 6:25 p.m. The schedule change is now reflected on both the Walt Disney World website and the My Disney Experience app. It's unclear for how long there will be two of these cavalcades. Walt Disney Imagineering filed a permit to change signage for the new Pirates of the Caribbean Tavern at the Magic Kingdom. The permit is for 4873 Caribbean Way, #B, the appropriate address of the new tavern next to Pirates of the Caribbean and Plaza del Sol Caribe Bazaar. It's to refurbish signage instead of the usual install signage. This suggests that the pre-existing signage left over from the Pirates League will be refurbished for the lounge's use, which is probably why it's remained there all this time. Disney contracts Kentavo, who also worked on signage for Ice Cold Hydraulics at Hollywood Studios, and as well signage for Tiana's Bayou Adventure at the Magic Kingdom. The Pirates of the Caribbean Tavern, which does not yet have an official name, is a lounge taking over the former Pirates League space next to the attraction. The Pirates League closed way back in 2020. The new lounge will welcome pirates of all ages with a seaworthy selection of grogs and grub and strike-me colors. There may be more than a few mysterious and magical surprises in store. It will also feature the return of the audio-animatronic Barker Bird, aka Peg Leg Pete, who's been gone from the attraction since 2006. We're very excited to see him back. The Tavern is slated to open in late 2025. A new Pez dispenser featuring the Hatbox Ghost is available at Walt Disney World. We first discovered it at the Emporium in the Magic Kingdom. The top of the Pez dispenser features the Hatbox Ghost from the Haunted Mansion. The Pez dispenser glows in the dark, and the base displays the Disney Parks logo in white text. Many of the newly added flooring decals for the 2025 EPCOT International Flower and Garden Festival are already decimated inside CommuniCore Hall. The vinyl appliques were added as decoration in the space for this year's festival. However, just days into the event, they're already all ripped up. And in several places, there are cones, there are ropes up, stanchions, anything that'll stop guests from ripping these up any further. In the photo you're looking at now, you can see where the pink flower has had its petal torn, and the leaf on the right-hand side has started to come up completely from the floor. Disney has placed temporary, stanchions around several of the floral decals to prevent further destruction from guests and cast members traversing the space. While this could be normal wear and tear from foot traffic, it could also be the result of poor application. It also was rainy on the first day. Maybe they were still a little fresh, and people have been kind of kicking them up, but this is a shame to see. I know, look, the flower and garden setup in CommuniCore Hall is not the best setup we've had. We loved what happened for the Festival of the Arts. That Disney on Broadway setup was great. It was a good use of the space. It filled up a lot of it. What we've been told when it comes to Flower and Garden and Food and Wine, those are the two warm weather festivals. And as the two warm weather festivals, they need more indoor air-conditioned space that people can sit in. And so when it comes to those two festivals, it will be less exhibit and more seating space. And I will say this much. It's not, again, it doesn't compare to the Disney on Broadway setup from CommuniCore Hall in January, but I will say as a seating space, it's the best decorated thus far. I love the applications on the walls. The stuff on the ceiling is very cute. Spike the Bee is great. And what they did on the floor and the decorations on the table bring the space to life enough, right? If it can't be an exhibit and it has to be seating space, then I think they did a good job. But obviously, it's a shame that this is already destroyed. And hopefully they'll be able to fix it or get this to work. I would hate for it to just be the gray floor again through this festival, because it is a long one. But we'll have to wait and see if Disney gets this fixed in the coming days and weeks. The construction to create additional covered seating near Woody's Lunchbox continues, with more roof panels installed and exposed wiring visible. Construction in the space began way back in January of 2022, with only minimal progress made for the first several months. Finally, it appears construction is nearing completion for the first roof structure, and the paneling is largely complete on the second. The covered seating area beside Woody's Lunchbox is expected to be shaded by 3 roofing structures in total. As we can see above the rolling planters surrounding the construction zone, the third structure is still only made of exposed metal beams. Since our last update in February, wiring has been installed on the third structure. The wires are still loosely hanging from the side of the metal post, but this is the first time we have seen actual wiring on the third roof. The underside of the mostly complete roof is covered in blue circles similar to a building toy. Similar to our previous update, exposed wires are still hanging from the roof panels of this first structure as well. These wires are expected to connect to either additional lighting or electric fans, but nothing has been installed yet. Once the final fixtures are installed, we expect the already worn metal post will get repainted before the extended seating's opening. The roof panels on the first structure have now been painted blue to match the flat panels on the nearby decorative structure. And the top of the roof sits just underneath one of the previously installed platforms where a Green Army man looks over the area. Progress has also been made since our last update on the second structure. The main metal roof panels now have been installed, and a weatherproofing tarp has been laid over the top. The roof is expected to get additional panels and be colored blue, just like the first. And while it's possible Disney will let guests sit underneath the first structure once it's complete, guests will more likely have to wait until all three are complete before this seating area is finally opened. Whispering Canyon Cafe at Disney's Wilderness Lodge will temporarily close for refurbishment in May of 2025. According to the Walt Disney World website, from May 12th through May 21st, Whispering Canyon Cafe will be closed. Other dining locations at the resort will remain open and available to guests, including Territory Lounge, Roaring Fork, Geyser Point Bar and Grill, and Storybook Dining at Artist Point. The restaurant will still serve its annual Mother's Day brunch on May 11th from 7:30 a.m. to 2 p.m., and during this time, regular breakfast and lunch menus will not be available. Whispering Canyon Cafe serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner, offering hearty Western fare with all-you-care-to-enjoy skillets. Just in time for St. Patrick's Day, the Paddy's Bar in Disney Springs is now open to guests just around the corner from Raglan Road Restaurant. The new location replaces the much smaller beverage cart that used to sit in this spot. Construction began on this back in 2024. The bar now has a permanent roof structure with some limited bar stools and a walk-up counter to the side. There's also a queue off to the side with gold rope stanchions. A metal sign has been attached to the top of the roof and is lit using two curved lights. The sign says Paddy's Bar in ornate gold text, and around the name the smaller text says imported from Ireland, established 2005 on Raglan Road, Dublin 4. Of course, Raglan Road opened way back in 2005. Each side advertises some of the bar's offerings, including teas and minerals, dancing, singing, good dining, and artisan spirits. The interior of the roof is painted white and has a few more advertisement slogans painted onto the crossbeams. In addition to selling aged Irish whiskeys and beers of distinction, the beams also have fun quotes like, "Be yourself, everyone else is already taken." In addition to the Paddy's Bar logo, the mirror also has the purveyors of the finest whiskey and a pattern of leaves etched into the reflective surface. The two cast members tending the bar when we visited were extremely friendly and insisted that their photo be included. The menu at Paddy's Bar has an extremely lengthy alcohol collection, though a few non-alcoholic beverages are included as well. The full menu can be seen at WDWNT.com. You've heard us talking about renting DVC points through our friends at DVCRentalStore.com, but if you've rented points and gotten a taste of the DVC lifestyle of a Walt Disney World vacation, you might be thinking it's time to jump in and join the club. But did you know you don't have to buy a contract at full price that Disney charges for a DVC membership? You could save thousands of dollars when you buy resale contracts. Contact our friends at DVC Rental Market to find out how much you can save. Go to dvcresalemarket.com/WDWNT for more information. The Disneyland monorail has returned to service, and with it, the new entrance gates are open at the downtown Disney district. The monorail closed for refurbishment back on January 6th. There aren't many significant changes post-refurbishment, especially not inside the park, but the most noticeable differences are over at downtown Disney. The new entrance gates are now complete and operational. The entrance was redesigned as part of the overall changes to the west side of the district. A new overhead structure with a curved design was added over the gates. In addition to the new overhead structure, new gate signage and digital screens were added to the entrance and exit. For comparison, here is a photo of what it looked like before. The old look was more open with less directional signage. The digital signs have Mickey Mouse graphics thanking guests for coming. The new gates match the new gates that were installed at Disneyland Park and California Adventure thus far. These have downtown Disney district-specific graphics, though, including mid-century modern-esque stars, while the gates at the parks have unique graphics. As part of the changes, a permanent gate was added to the service entrance as well. Disneyland Paris has announced the dates of their Halloween and Christmas celebrations for this year. Per the announcement, the Disney Halloween Festival will be returning October 1st through November 2nd of 2025. The Disney Enchanted Christmas event will be held from November 8th of 2025 through January 6th of 2026, but further details have not yet been revealed for either event. Two new stores named Disney Style and Disney Glamour are now open to guests at the Disney Village of Disneyland Paris. Disneyland Paris announced the Disney Style and Disney Glamour stores in November alongside Deco by Disney, which will open in April. The new stores are part of the ongoing transformation of the village, which Disneyland Paris says is designed to offer guests a more modern, inviting, and unique experience with a touch of Disney magic. Disney Style is a lifestyle boutique offering a wide range of ready-to-wear Disney fashions and accessories. The store's designs allude to Edna Mode of The Incredibles. A mural above the store's entrance features the Parr family alongside Mode, who is also featured on the store's entrance sign. A large stylized Edna Mode mural is painted on one wall, as seen in photos by DLP Works, along with a mid-century style light fixture hanging from the ceiling. Cast members wear formal-looking slacks, vests, and a long-sleeved shirt in neutral tones. The mid-century style continues throughout the store with curved displays and unique light fixtures. And while the store has some previously released apparel and merchandise, it will also be home to exclusive items that will only be available to purchase at Disney Style. The store also features a dedicated product personalization area for guests wanting an added flair to their purchase. Those looking for a sweet treat can head over to this cart inside to get a macaron while shopping. The macarons can be purchased individually or in a variety box. Disney Glamour is connected to Disney Style. The shop's architecture and lighting were specially designed to showcase the products on display. This boutique offers a wide range of jewelry, clothing, and accessories. This includes Pandora creations and capsule collections in collaboration with famous brands. The exterior of the building features art of It's a Small World by Disney legend Mary Blair. The main checkout counter inside is a semicircle with pink detailing, and a gray mural on the back wall features more Small World-inspired patterns, and an ornate chandelier hangs from the ceiling. A glass case near the counter is also used to display some of the more expensive offerings, such as designer watches. Additional images of the Disney Glamour interior showcase the more neutral, posh style of the store, and more curved display counters fill the majority of the space, showcasing specialty Disney jewelry and a selection of Pandora charms. And while a large section of Disney Glamour focuses on jewelry, there's also a selection of designer handbags, dresses, and wallets. Most of the items are placed on white displays, matching the color of the stone flooring. Disneyland Paris Shopping also shared a more in-depth look at each store in a post on Instagram. Tokyo Disney Resort released the full list of Tokyo Disney Sea Food and Wine Festival merchandise, which will be available starting April 7th. Tokyo Disney Resort previously shared a preview of the merchandise, which features Mickey and friends enjoying cuisine on their travels around the world. Here's a quick look at all the products. We have a Mickey plush badge for 2,600 yen, a plush badge stand for 1,700, Chip and Dale charm set is 1,800 yen, a placemat for 800, a wet wipe case is 2,500, the t-shirt is 4,200 yen, a bucket hat is 3,600, the tote bag is 3,200, the tumbler is 2,900, the Chip and Dale cushion, it's a pillow, is 3,900. There's a washcloth set for 2,000, a mystery magnet, you get one of those for 1,100 yen, but you get the whole set for 6,600 if you'd like. The drawstring pouch is 1,000 yen, the badge set is 1,200 yen, the pin will be 1,400 yen, the clear folder set is 700 yen, the sticker set 900, the notepad set also 900 yen, a postcard set is 1,800 yen, the Donald and Daisy, all these patches will be 900 yen. There's a Donald and Daisy, a Chip and Dale, a Mickey and Minnie, a Panchito and Jose, a Genie, a Sebastian, and a Goofy and Max, as well as Pluto and Fifi. All of those represent an individual port of Tokyo Disney Sea. OLC also released details of the Fantasy Springs-inspired dishes and more that will be available at the festival. The Tokyo Disney Sea Food and Wine Festival runs from April 8th through June 30th of 2025. So yes, the merchandise comes out a day early. April 7th will essentially be a soft open date. They don't really advertise that, but pretty much it'll start that date. Unfortunately, we'll be at Donald's Quacky Duck 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 City that day because I think that's more important than food and wine. But don't worry, we'll be at Food and Wine a day or two later to bring you full coverage of that, just like we did last year. And don't forget, if you want to see what last year's event was like, we still have that full review video right here on the channel. Please go check it out. Real quick, I want to remind everyone that we do have an auction coming up. It is our spring cleaning auction as we try to clear up some of the space in this studio so we can begin on some new projects. You can go bid at auction.wdwnt.com. Some items are up already, but the auction will be taking place not this weekend, but the following weekend. Be sure to join us for that. It's going to be 2 days long. First time ever we're doing it for 2 days. There's so many items from so many Disney parks around the world for you to bid on and help support us here at WDWNT as well. I want to mention we have one more museum tour left on Saturday, March 15th. That's our last day of tours for a little while of this test run. And if they continue to be successful, we'll do more in the future. But if you'd like to get in, if you're going to be in town this coming Saturday, be sure to get your tickets at events.wdwnt.com. For the absolute latest on these stories and all that didn't make it into today's show, be sure to check WDWNT.com and follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. You can support the entire team behind the show and others by joining the WDWNT Interglobe Society at patreon.com/WDWNT. Get access to exclusive content, discounted show and event tickets, and more. Special shout out to all the WIGS members watching who make this show happen every week. For the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is Tom Corliss saying, enjoy the rest of your today and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.